and try to check that how we can have the okay thing in it, because there isn't any okay right now. You want to check something and goes and sits over here. So if you go into the SDK over here, go to API reference, look for select dialog. And if you come to this point, you would find that there is a thing that's called as confirm event. It means that when you do a selection over here, click on it, it confirms that, yeah, this is what you want to hit, confirm. It confirms that. So there's a confirm event for it. So I'm going to copy this confirm event, and I'll just try to paste it on the detail controller where my F4 help is, just on top of it, and then write the function, and then this thing, and comma. This is how. Now you see these two are sort of linked, okay? These two are sort of linked because the F4 help opens up, and then you click something on the F4 help and something's going to happen. Over here now, I'm going to use OEvent. OEvent. O-E-V-E-N-T. OEvent. And I'll say that not let won't work in it. Var ID. Okay. SID. And if you go inside the input field, let me also go inside the input field. Go to the input field. Oh. Inside the event that is called as value help request. This won't work. Submit. Input field. Suggest. It has to have it. So I have never used get source. Now I'm going to use get source, right? Using the get source, the exact point from where the event has fired. And you know that the event has fired from this input box, right? The event has fired from this input box, correct? Correct? So if it knows the input field, it also knows about the ID as well. All right? Yes? Okay. Go ahead and simply on this type SID that I'm going to get is OEvent dot get source. Get source. When I get the source object, I want to say get ID for me. Go and check. Get source, spelling, get source. And here it is also get source or even get source. And it will help me to get the ID, okay? But when I get the ID of the input field, how am I going to use it inside this thing, confirm? Because on confirm, when let's say I choose on to Alice Johnson, I want Alice Johnson to sit over here on in place of John Doe. For that, I need the ID of the input field, set value I have to do. Get the point? So, but But if you see that the ID is generated in some other piece of code, F4 help, it's being generated. And I want to use the ID over here. What shall I do? This dot, make it the property of the controller. This. Okay, now this ID has become global. All right? Okay. Now let's come, because the need is clear. What I want to do is that on confirm. Let me also go to on confirm where I am right now. Am I not in on confirm? Oh, okay, on confirm. Get parameter or event has to be there. Or event var or item. First, I need to get the item which item I'm selecting. Okay. Or event. Copied, get parameter. And now you're going to pass the parameter, the selected item parameter, inside this thing. All right? And my job is done now. This is the only point that I have to stop and think how I can construct this thing. Now this thing will guide me through the console. Because now my need is clear. I want John Doe or Alice Johnson or Robert, whatever. Okay? And I want the input field ID, right? And I want to set it. The value to the input field. Done. Clear cut, simple stuff. Just go ahead and try to do that. Okay. Come over here. And let's go to the inspect section. And let me just go to the sources tab, because this is going to help me to reach to the point where I want to. Spread this part. Controller. I should be going to the detail view controller, right? Okay. We will remove these things. And unfortunately, I did not refresh the page. Refresh it so that the updated code should come. And you see my updated code hasn't come yet. Have I written code somewhere else? Save, yeah. Now refresh the page. Okay, you see the updated code is here. You see that? Need to just hit first this thing for help, right? So that you can see really the code is really working the way it should work. I'll just go over there and hit it. Okay, so just one step. Just check the ID, right? It's giving me the ID that's there in the DOM, and it's input 0, table 00, right? Now stop. Cancel. Let's go and click this one. One more step. Input table 001, input 0, new ID, okay? Of course it has to be. This click. And where did it go? 2, you see that? New ID. So every time it's passing me a dynamic ID for each of the things, right? This is what I want to use inside my confirm function over here. Let's go to the confirm function. And also we need to, we can also pass this thing over here. All right. The question over here I'm going to ask is that how can you make this code run, hit the breakpoint? That's a question. And I'm going to just okay, hit the code. The pop-up has not come. Everything is saved over here. What? I just wanted to do it faster. This is why I forgot one step from it. Hit it. Hit it. Okay. Now let the code hit. Yep. You see that? Now O event is the one that's going to give me everything. Let's check a look at it. M parameters. If you go inside the M parameters, you will get the selected items or whatever thing is. Let me make it bigger so that I can see everything. Otherwise, we won't get anything from here. O event. Let me just go one more step. I did not run the code. O item. Check it out. here is the title and info. You see that? And in the info and the title. So we need to just get any of the things, info and title, that we want to. Okay. In the M properties also, we have got info and title. And this is what I'm interested in. I'm interested in Alice Johnson, right? Alice Johnson. So what I'll do is that I'll just copy this thing and let me just paste it for a while over here. M properties. M properties can also be used as get properties, okay? M properties can also be done as get properties. And where else? So O item, let's go and go to the console and do the thing. Dot M properties, dot, what shall I type now? Tell me. Info or title. Title, Alice Johnson, okay? I got it. I'll just copy it and come to the point and do one thing, paste over here, and now we'll say var s item. Now I got the value, right, of that thing that's coming from the hit. My item, item, item equals. I can change that to get property title, okay? Conversely, I can say get property in braces title. I'll do that also. Var s item equals o item dot get property. In that, I'll pass title and try to run the code from both ways, okay? First, I'll run the code the way it runs, and then I'll uncomment the piece of code and run it. Title. Once I get that thing that I want to put on the input box, tell me, what do I need now? I'm getting the value that I want to put on the input box. What do I need now? So did I get the input field first? Where will I set? How will I get the thing? She said, so tell me the code. I'm gonna write it. Var. There's a mistake, but it's. Wait for a sec. Why is it showing an error over here? A semicolon doesn't give an error. This bad error, that square one. Var. Okay, which is why. Okay. Var o input. This is what it's saying, right? We want the input field first object. How can I get it? Tell me now. This dot get view dot by ID. And what's the ID? What's the ID? Tell me, what shall I write over there? What's the ID? What's the ID? What's the ID? That means you did not understand the code then. What? Yeah. Say it loudly so that everybody can hear. Many times I see that when nobody's answering, you answer the questions. Like how? And you also did some bizarre stuff also, so I'm having a mixed idea about you. Fine, no problem. Just tell me where and what. Yeah, correct. This thing, this is the global thing that you've been using. This is the one that's storing the ID. You are damn good, let me tell you. This .sid, which is why we made this thing, because we cannot have separate, IDs for each of the things, on our own. It's going. So if dynamically it is getting me the ID, what's the harm in it for each of the input fields? I got the ID, right? Let me just use SAP UI getco. SAP.UI.get core in it. You must be thinking, why all of a sudden? Don't worry, in Bass it won't happen. It's also an API to do something. The same this.get view, SAP UI get core. You can use that interchangeably. SAP UI get core by ID. Once you get the ID, what will you do now? Yeah. So O input dot set value is the name. And what is the value that you want to set? What's the value that we want to set? Which of the variables is holding the value? O input. Where is that O input?